little, I was at the pool, and when I was a baby, I used to poop a lot, so yeah. I was like, what if I poop in my swimming suit because like I'm too lazy to go to the bathroom. So I was like, yeah, and then I pooped in my pants or my swimming suit, and then I was like, it feels so lumpy. But I didn't want to tell my sister because I knew she was gonna get mad. I got her towels on. Something like brown was on the chair, and she was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. Even though I knew, and she was like, did you do a poop? And I was like, maybe. I did a poop. So like we had to like take it out of my swimming suit, and like there was poop everywhere. I'm scarred. I'm traumatized. So someone tagged me in a video because I check my notifications and I'm a curious person. So I pressed the tag and I regret it so much. If I could go back in time, I would. That video is not meant to be seen. You know that sound, I'm sorry for fidgeting, but fidgeting's what I do. Yeah, so you know that song? This little kid, he was playing with poop, squishing it with his bare hands to that song.
And when I was 9, I was giving my mom a back massage. I was sitting on her back and I wanted to fart, but instead I did a shart and piss combo so wet and stinky your nose would turn into dust if you smelled it. She immediately jumped up and my hot diarrhea splattered all over our brand new carpets. She went and showered and I could hear her crying. When she got out, she made me clean the shit on the carpet with my blanket. She made me sleep with the blanket that night and I was crying in bed. The smell of my blanket was that bad I vomited, and because the pressure of my vomit was so harsh I did another shit and piss combo. I was crying as I rolled around in my filth and my mom came in and screamed when she saw it. She said, how can someone so little have so much shit inside of them? She showered me and she then made me sleep on the couch because she didn't want to risk me sharting in her bed. We then bought a new bed set for me and replaced our carpets.
When I was in 8th grade, I knew this boy that would always say he had a pooping disorder. Everyone thought it was disgusting, and that he was just doing it for attention. Anyway, one day the boy raised his hand in the middle of a lesson and said that he had to poop. The teacher would usually let us go whenever, but I think he was getting fed up with the pooping disorder thing too. The kid starts screaming saying it's an emergency and because of his disorder he would poop everywhere and all that shit. The teacher tells him to wait 5 minutes or he gets sent to the office. He starts to look stressed and points his head down. Then he lets out a big groan and I hear the sound of a massive wet fart. At this point I was like, holy shit, is he for real? Then he stands up and diarrhea and poop starts spilling out of his jeans. I literally puked and had to go home.
When I was like 9 years old, for a very brief moment, I thought the word tatas meant toes. And so I asked my grandmother, Grandma, do you ever paint your tatas? And she was like, what? And I was like, do you ever paint your tatas? And she was like, people don't do that. And I'm like, yes, they do. Mom does it all the time. And I was like, anyway, if you ever decide to paint your tatas, I think you should paint them green.
Remember how PE teachers used to make you run the mile in elementary school? Well boy, do I have a fucking story for you. So I was out on the field running my second lap and my stomach started hurting because my fucking mom decided to buy McDonald's for breakfast. So I asked the teacher if I could go to the bathroom and that bitch ass Trump gorilla looking motherfucker said no, so I just kept running and prayed to Michael Jackson that it would go away. So I'm on my third lap and I have to fart. And on God I pulled an Essa Barrett. So much shit came out that I could literally make a 4-course meal with it. And a chocolate fountain for dessert. I was about to fucking cry. Obviously I wasn't gonna tell my teacher that I shit myself, so I just said I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I go to the clinic literally holding my hands on my ass so nobody would see my shit. When I get to the clinic the nurse tells me to sit down, but in my head I'm like, bitch, if I sit down your chair is gonna look like the chocolate river from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I just lean on the wall until my mom comes to pick me up. When I stand up off the wall to go to the bathroom, my shit is smeared on the wall and the nurse looks at it and she's like, what the fuck? Was that you? And I was like, ew, hell no, and I run to the bathroom and my whole ass had shit on it, and when my mom picked me up I started crying because she asked what smelled like dog shit and she thought she stepped in something and I had to tell her it was my ass. Day I decided to invite this kinda weird girl over to my house as no one ever wanted to hang out with her and I felt a little bit bad. I told her to meet me in this classroom after the last bell went for the end of the day. I walked all the way to the classroom and she wasn't there. I was really confused as that's where I told her to go. At this point I was bursting for a piss cause the old fat teacher named Pat didn't let me go during the lesson. I made the decision to go to the toilet and maybe she would be there when I got back. When I got to the toilet, there was someone in one of the cubicles having the biggest shit ever. It stunk of moldy eggs, clothing pegs, hairy legs, picture frame, really lame, my idol, touchy-feelio, bug-infested rat, ugly hat, wet dog, greasy fog, shiny spoon, the cow jumped over the moon, loud fan, white van, stinky feet, your outfit is neat, flying bird, donkey turd, deep sleep, big leap. Shit started to seep under the cubicle door. I screamed and jumped onto the sinks and asked who it was. It was Toenail Tabby, the girl who was meant to come round to my house. In that moment I was so glad she didn't do that in my house, otherwise we would have had to live on the streets as the plumbing bill would have been like $1 million. The next day she wasn't in school. As it turns out she didn't have bowel cancer. One time I was playing WAP in the car and my mom said, "What is this garbage?" I said, "It's by Cardi B and it's called WAP." She asked me what WAP means and I froze and said it means worship and pray. She said okay and that was that. When we got home later she posted to her church group on Facebook saying let's all WAP. All her church group members were replying saying yes, when we meet up we should WAP for each other. They then changed their church group name to the WAP Sisters. I still haven't told her what it really means.
Tell me you've never had a friend like this. So, you'd be going out with them, like to the park or just for a walk or something, and it just happens that your crush is coming along. You know, you're all excited. You know, everything's fine until your friend and your crush start flirting. And the worst part about it is they know that that is your crush. And they're like chasing each other, telling you embarrassing moments that you trusted them with, and just fuller leaving you out of the conversation. And you're just stood there like, but in your head you're like, sis, don't act like I won't just walk home. I don't care if you're in the middle of the forest, okay? Here's another example. You're going out with another friend. It's just supposed to be the two of you. It's supposed to be a nice best friend day. But no, Tracy over there wants to pop along on your nice walk. Then boom, it's like you're not even there. It's like you're a ghost.
Like when you're scrolling through TikTok, you could be on any video and then automatically TikTok like scrolls down like a bajillion videos. Like, I'm sorry, honey, but I'm not finished with the one I was just watching. And you've just scrolled down like 10 videos. So then you have to scroll up again to watch the videos that TikTok just told you, no, you don't get to watch these. Does that happen to anyone else? Because I've asked my friends about it and they said that it doesn't happen to them. What is it about me, TikTok, huh? Why can't I watch videos? Huh?
Does anybody else's teacher shove their bum cheeks in your face? So I'm just here trying to get through the actual bloody school day. And then one of my friends, I laugh and I'm like, what are you staring at? She's looking behind me. So I look behind me and oh my god, his bum cheeks is in my face. I'm sorry, let's go. Let's have me. So do you mind not doing that? Me and my friends were just giggling about it. And then basically, giggling and having a fun time about it, we're laughing about it. Like, this is not a big enough classroom if your bum's in my face when you're bending down to help another kid. Who actually stands up and her bum cheeks hit the back of my head. Me and my friends, we were laughing, like madly laughing, the urge of crying. Actually, my friend laughed that snot came out of her nose, all over her mouth spot.
One time it was Christmas and my legal guardian took me to the mall to take a photo with the fake Santa that sits in the middle of the shopping center. I was waiting in the line with all the disgusting snot-nosed bastards when the abnormally obese Santa arrived. I suddenly became violently hungry, so I told my legal guardian to stay put while I go purchase and devour a bean burrito. I ate that shit like I was in a competition, then I confidently strutted back to the line. There were 2 kids left in front of us and I was losing my patience, so I struck one of them in the back of the head. The revolting child in front of me finished his photo, so I opened the gate with my chin up and began catwalking to Santa's abnormally large leg. I threw it back on his leg and I was ready to take the photo, when suddenly I didn't feel too good. I just remembered I'm disgustingly allergic to bean burritos, and that's when my stomach started to beatbox. Santa said say cheese, and that's when my abnormally tight hole expanded and began pouring out my bean shit like a tap faucet. Santa started going ho 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 ho, and that's when the cameraman started recording and taking photos. The bean shit was spraying everywhere like a busted pipe, and it began painting the walls. I started slowly yet erotically levitating from the force, causing the shit to pour on Santa, making him look like Bigfoot, and all I could hear were the camera clicks. I lost about 30 kilos and slowly floated down back into Santa's mushy lap, and there were families crying and hiding in the mall's bomb shelter. The photos developed and my parents framed them and hung them all over the house, and the Santa always hits me up every time I eat a bean burrito so I can sit on his lap again. It turns out I had bowel cancer.
You know those kids who would always crack their backs with their chairs? I never learned how to do that. But every day during English class, this one kid named Jamal would always do it. You know, to freaking twist and grab the chair. And every time he turned around, I would do my absolute best to not make direct eye contact. And homie's back would crack in 3 different places. But he's kinda smart too, cause this one time during a test, he decides to do it and looks directly at my paper for answers. Yo, dude! Sneaky man, am I right?
That's it, I can't anymore with these stupid friend requests. Why can't the friend request come at the top of your screen, not covering the jump button? I absolutely hate it. I was just about to make it to the top of like 40 stages, and then I got a friend request. I accidentally pressed accept instead of jump, and then I fell! Thanks a lot, Unicorn Lover 568.
So obvious when a teacher has a favorite. For example, my geography teacher. My friend was doing guns with her hands to her friend, and she had to get out of the room and got a detention. But this girl pushed her friend's chair, making her fall on her bum. But the geography teacher laughed. I don't know, that doesn't seem right.
When I was little I thought I could talk to trees. Because I had no friends. And I used to sit by them and say things, and one day I was talking to my tree friend called Kevin, and this girl went up to me and said, "Are you talking to that tree, freak?" And I started crying and hugged onto the tree. And while she was laughing, one of the branches fell on the girl's head. Thanks, Kevin. Time in class, it was my birthday and I brought in these cupcakes for everyone to share. There is this one kid who is very allergic to gluten, and so I thought I bought gluten-free cupcakes. I was wrong. When we started to eat, the kid's face turned green and asked if he could use the bathroom. The teacher said yes, but as soon as the kid stood up, the most aggressive thick, double-decker brick, do a flip, really hot chick, not so quick shard in the whole universe, the window shattered and the sprinklers went off. Everybody swore they saw Satan outside. The kid sharded for like 5 minutes straight with no breaks. He got the shart all over his chair and all over the walls. Once he was done, he was taken to the hospital for how aggressive the shart was.
When I'm just minding my own business, on my phone, scrolling through TikTok, feeling really relaxed in my enclosed bedroom. Then, a parent just randomly walks in and just stands there and then complains about everything I do wrong. For example, me always on that phone, never helping out with the house. I literally washed the dishes the other day and cleaned the bathrooms, which is absolutely disgusting. But the worst thing ever is when they finally leave the room. But they don't close the stupid door. You entered the room with a closed door. You leave the room with a closed door. What do people not understand about that? Then I would have to move out from my very comfortable position and close it myself. Close the door.